Happy Monday in Dewitte land, everybody. So I want to make a follow-up video to the court case last week, but I'm going to wait till during the week to do that because I'll talk about what's going to happen next week, which we actually don't know yet, which is why I'm not talking about it right now because, you know, with Jeremy always trying to kick the can down the road, that might be a continuance, even though they said no continuances, but you never know. So I'm actually not sure. I mean, I'll be there no matter what happens. If it goes down, I'll definitely be there. I'll figure it out. I actually found a really cheap and convenient way to fly. New York to Orlando is pretty easy generally, but I found an even better way. Joined a discount club on one of the discount airlines. I don't recommend them for more than a 2.5 hour flight, but going down to Orlando, it's fine. So, and to that point, people are more and more saying to me, hey, we'd like to contribute to cover your travel expenses so you keep, excuse me, so you keep making these trips. But the trips are not expensive and I don't mind. So I would say if you're going to give money to anybody, please give the money to Fraudy and PT and Josh and let them purchase the calls, and more importantly, those cloned phones. To get Jeremy's cloned phones would be amazing, and I think somebody said they're like $2,000. So if we put together $2,000 and get our hands on those phones, we would have a ball, I would imagine. All right, I've been dying to make a video since last night when I listened to Fraudy's most recent post. And I wanted to sit down and write some notes because let's just start with restitution. Jeremy's concerned about people trying to get restitution. And obviously he was trying to say retribution, but he doesn't even know that. He doesn't even know what word he was trying to say. And he went through it like 4 times, right? And restitution is what you came up with, you idiot. So I just wanted to start with that. So, and then he starts with, you know, telling his mom how sorry he is, but he's sorry because he wants coffee and food packs. So he's going to say sorry as many times as he thinks it takes for him to. And I started counting how many times he asked for food or coffee, and I got to 5, and then I stopped because, oh, and Fraudy zoomed through the video, probably saving us 7 more instances where Jeremy asked for coffee or something. And I made notes and I went through the video time by time because I really think there are some things we need to really look at a little closer. You know, the thing where he says, oh, Amir is, you know, walking around the house looking for me, crying. You see his mother gave into nothing of that. And his mother didn't show any empathy for him or Amira or Rania in that moment, right? Which I thought was really telling, because then I began thinking, you know, is Rania making that up for down the road? And you know, this is funny. Somebody wrote recently that their wife or girlfriend was giving them grief because, you know, they're watching their soap opera, Jeremy. And I said, well, you could tell your wife or your girlfriend that, you know, she had General Hospital for 50 years. And then it occurred to me, this is like a soap opera, right? Because everybody's trying to screw everybody. Everybody's trying to stab everybody else in the back. Everybody's making up a story. Everybody's right. So in this instance, it's like, yeah, Ranya's telling Jeremy that Amira is missing him, trying to set him up for something a little bit down the road. And then he's telling his mom to gain sympathy. And then his mom doesn't really have any sympathy because his mom is probably getting wind that Jeremy's been telling people she thinks he's stealing his stuff. So it's like everybody's playing a game. Everybody's, you know, trying to get over on each other, right? So it is like General Hospital, like legitimately like a soap opera, because everyone's lying and everyone's playing a game and running a con. So that was that. And then he went straight into the, you know, I'm going to take my own life kind of deal. My road is ending. You know, I'm tired. And again, she didn't really give him anything. She's like, I understand. Like, yeah, if you offed yourself You know, it's his mom, so she's gonna, you know, right? For those of us with kids, you know, probably it wouldn't matter what they did. We're still gonna always be there. But she was not giving him much. And she said to him, you know, Jeremy, you never stopped poking the bear. And that trial judge, Roach, I think he said it was, said that, you know, you're constantly thumbing your nose. So those two things are the same. And that's what his mom's trying to tell him. And when you think about it a little further, as his mom has said in other videos, I gave you 10 grand to get you out of jail, and you refused to stop poking the bear. And poking the bear means being an a-hole, right? And she said it's your impulse control, your inability, right? His inability to stop being an a-hole cost her 10 grand. It was going to cost her 10 grand anyway, but she didn't get anything out of it, right? And who knows who paid for that trucking school? She probably paid for that too. So I paid 10 grand to get you out of jail. I paid this money to put you in trucking school, and you couldn't stop being an a-hole long enough for it to bear any fruit. So, you know, she's got to, you know, really be PO'd. And, you know, his mom said, I was talking to Leanda about, you know, getting that YouTube shut down. And you hear what his mom said. But because of the changes that are constantly being made by you or whoever, she's not saying to him, is it you or is it Jen? She's saying by you, whoever. So she's like giving him an out again, which is part of the problem, that she keeps giving Jeremy outs. But then you begin to think, changing the information, it's not necessarily even changing the password, right? It's changing the information that will make it possible for you to get the new password, right? We all know if you forget your password, they're going to ask you, what street did you grow up on, blah, blah, blah. But I think that Jen is even changing the information so that whoever tries to get the new password can't, because she's changed information like that to change the password. Or maybe it was Jay did it so Jennifer could. Who knows? Because everybody's running, it's a real soap opera. Everybody's running a scam on everybody. But if you ask me, it's Jen, because she figures Jeremy goes back to jail. She has access to all that stuff. She's going to take the money out. So I think that's where that has come to. And the last thing, I made 2 pages, one about his convo with his mom, and the other about his convo with Jen. But the last thing was Rania, all right? His mom says Rania won't bring the titles over. When somebody comes and wants to buy the motorcycle, she goes, I can't sell it on the spot because I don't have the title, because if I call Rania, she won't bring it over. And I don't know what Rania's deal is. I've always maintained that Rania is just sloppy, slovenly, lazy. I don't know, and stupid. I don't know that Rania has, if we're going to do a pie chart of all the things that Rania is, I think malicious is near the bottom. Of course, you know, when cops come to the door and, well, more about the Chicago, right? In Chicago, she had his back way too much. She knew what was going on there, and she had his back way too much. But I think on the list of things she is, I think sloppy, slovenly, lazy, stupid are all much higher than malicious. With Jen, I think it's the other way around. I think malicious is way higher percentage on the pie chart. So now to the Jen part of that conversation. She answers the phone, and he immediately accuses her of recording him. So he makes her mad immediately. But in his head, he's thinking that she's trying to use him and take advantage of immediately as the phone call begins. And then you know, they keep with the honey and the sweetheart and whatever. So this is somebody who you think is going to record you, to use you and take advantage of you, but we're still going to maintain this lovey-dovey because they're so codependent, right? They both need somebody to make them feel important. And that's why they do that thing where they yell at each other, stop asking questions, or Jeremy, I'm too pissed off for this stuff right now. And then they like try to placate each other. It's a weird dynamic because they're the only two who would do that for each other. And we often say that Jen is smarter than Jeremy, which she probably is. I mean, she definitely is. But her taking, however long it took her to figure out that when he said bar, he meant website. Like, how dumb are you? But again, is she playing that? Because part of me is thinking now that she is, I don't know if I should let Cleopatra on the screen so I don't get yelled at by people, or I shouldn't, or whatever, but that's my baby girl. Baby girl, go over there. Please. I love you, but go over there. Is that her trying to get him to speak on a recorded line, right? Because if she just said, okay, I know what you're talking about, then that maintains his, listen, it's all stupid. Like, it would take a trained investigator 30 seconds to know that these code words are absurd. And I love the fact that they think these code words are actually code words. It's not because we call her Blondie. It can't be Jen. How could it be Jen? That's not Jen. I just called her Blondie. The idea that he keeps up that pretense is hysterical. But so A, is she dumb and she didn't know he meant website, or is she really setting him up down the road? Which they keep saying 4 to 6, which is so interesting about the fact that we listen to these phone calls, right? And now we know that the plea offer was 9 years, right? So put it together. He kept saying, and Amir told Rania they might be looking at 4 to 6. But now we know that they were looking at much more because they offered him 9, which means they were looking at more than 9, right? So what was it? Again, people got all over me about my math, but it could have been 12 to 15. Easily could have been 12 to 15 if they're offering 9, right? So, and they don't know that, right? As we're listening to these phone conversations, they don't know that. And, right, and it's really neat to think about what we're going to hear going forward if Fraudy and PT keep doing their job. What we're going to hear that's going to lead us to what we know now is 9 years, right? It's really kind of neat and fascinating. What about making money off your crimes? Isn't that a thing? Somebody tell me. I didn't, I thought when you're in jail, you're not allowed to make money off your crimes. Aren't these, and Jeremy asks her, where are we on the views? Did we get to 2,000 yet? Blah, 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 blah. First of all, Jeremy, it shouldn't matter to you because she's changing passwords and usernames like it's nobody's business and taking that money. So you really shouldn't care about that. But is he just making money off his pseudo celebrity right now? Or is he making money off his crimes? And is that legal? Is another interesting thing, which I don't know if you guys have insight into that. And then the last thing is, near that end of that conversation, now you start to hear Jeremy's concern about Amir. Jeremy says, oh, Amir is scared of the bear. We don't want to poke the bear. And Jeremy said, yeah, I'm a little bit confused about what's going on right now. Because he expects Amir to listen to his nonsense and lies rather than actual evidence. Amir sees the evidence, wants to take a plea for 9 years because Amir doesn't want to go to trial for it. Not only that, but Amir's not getting paid. Again, this is me surmising, but if Amir takes a plea, it's a lot less work for Amir, right, than going to trial. So if Amir goes to trial, like, what would that cost that he's not going to get paid for? And he knows that. So then you begin to wonder, okay, is the attorney working in the client's best interests, which is where Jeremy's going to go next. He did not. He was, what's the term? It's on the top of my head. Counsel. His counsel was not good. What do we call it? I hate getting old. His counsel was incompetent. And that's where he'll go. That'll be his next. That's what Mikhail Baryshnikov will come along and say, yeah, his prior his prior representation was not competent. It's not the worst idea I ever heard. It's plausible. So that's that. That's all I want to say about Friday's video. And I'll Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll make a video about what's going to happen in Osceola on Friday. I'm thinking it's going to go down. If it does, I'll be there. If it doesn't, I won't. But we'll figure it out. Okay. So thanks for letting me get all that off my chest. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope it's food for thought. And I hope it's something that maybe you didn't think of, that I thought of. And I hope you come back at me with something you thought of that maybe I didn't think of, because we can always learn something, right? All right. Have a great beginning of the week. I hope everybody's well, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks. Bye.